GSL Code S round of 32.
Thousands of anti-government protesters emanate.
Welcome to GSL Antigua Shipyard.
Let's intro these players in the bottom left. Known for being very aggressive, but not such the case in game number 1. Let's see if he can turn it around here in game number 2, sponsored by thehandsomnerd.com. He is
GSL Polt.
in the upper right. In the blue, we have the Tau Terran. So aggressive, actually playing what looked almost perfect in game number 1. I really think this guy's going to go to the group. He is
FXO GuMiho.
He's not using his towel.
Not yet.
Not yet.
After how hard he just beat Polt, he thinks he can do it with a slippery hand this time.
Yeah, man.
All right, so. By the way, for all the people that qualified through the Code A qualifiers, apparently it was 10 Kespa players and 11 non-Kespa players.
Oh.
That's a pretty cool stat
split
right
down
there.
the middle, yeah.
All right, so. GuMiho going command center first here.
Yeah.
Polt with his racks first. It looks like Polt's just going to go ahead and make a command center after this. Not a gigantic difference in these two builds.
Not really.
No. You know, it's a slightly riskier with GuMiho's, but you know, a slightly better economy. And it's very rare for any proxy rack situations to occur, so it's not like a huge consideration.
And this is, you know, Antigua Shipyard. Antigua Shipyard for Terran versus Terran. You have to control the center very well.
Yeah, you do.
You have to. If one guy gets that that high ground in the center with that watchtower, you are going to be in hell for possibly like as long as 10 minutes or more.
Yeah.
Might even be the whole game.
It's really hard to break that.
So hard.
Having the watchtower, having, you know, you even have that smoke around it, which can help at certain times in certain battles. The high ground, you know, just positionally, you're choking out your opponent rather than being choked out.
Yeah.
Everything about it's pretty amazing.
So very soon here, I'd say maybe like the next 5 or 6 minutes, we're going to see a lot of fighting over that center location.
Yeah.
It's just so important.
Yeah, we are. So, you know, it looks like GuMiho's going to go straight up to factory here. What's he going to do with this factory? By the placement of it, it tells us that it's probably reactor Hellion.
Probably, yeah.
You know, it's right next to that barracks, which can easily move over to make a reactor when he has that gas. I think that's what we'll see after the second Marine. Polt in the meantime, that's just an anti-Reaper placement on those Marines, just in case his opponent went Reaper. You know, as he hasn't scouted him yet. GuMiho, likewise, not scouting quite yet. And the thing is, there's not too many things that hit this early. Like most Terran attacks in TVT early on are things like Hellion drops, Banshees, stuff like that, which just come so late that you can kind of just play blindly against Terran to a certain extent. I mean, yeah, there are some things like Proxy Marauder and stuff, but not normally game-ending.
Yeah.
Now, for GuMiho, it looks like he might go into his Reactor Hellion Viking play, which I would just love to see. It's really strong.
I dig it, actually. The way that he's controlling everything. I was actually really impressed with that rush early on. In that last game we saw with all the Hellions and the Marines. I couldn't believe how much damage that actually did.
Yeah, it was a lot, man. For certain it was.
Because, you know, you think, well, he's probably going to have a tank. This is going to be just, you know, bad news. But when then you look at the timing of it, like the medevac, that one medevac pops out basically at the same time the tank pops out. So he kills the Marines. But then you think, okay, tank's there. But no, actually, if he's healing, he can actually pick up units with the medevac if they're too weak, or, you know, obviously heal. It was really nice.
Yeah. Now some nice scouting here from GuMiho. You know, a little bit of damage.
We don't really see people get one medevac for really quick timing. Unless it's like for a quick Hellion drop or something. But I wonder if you just cranked out one Hellion. I mean, excuse me, one medevac. What kind of rush you could do with that? You know.
Polt's one medevac in this case, I think, is for a drop because he's getting really quick stim with it as well. He is starting to see Shanks as well, so it looks like he's going to go pretty normal here. GuMiho, on the other hand, he's playing anti-Banshee. He actually made a turret in his main and just barely didn't finish. It was at like 90% and canceled when the Banshee timing basically passed. He also went to...
oh, wow, that's so smart.
Yeah. He, once he scanned and saw exactly what was going on, he's like, okay, no Banshees. Cancel that turret off. He made a single Viking. He had Marines rallied in his main base. It wasn't that composition that I was thinking it might be. Instead, right now, he's going into... It looks like he is going to go mech this game. He's getting cloaked Banshee as well as Hellion and Blue Flame.
All right, as you can see now, third command center coming up. I don't think this is a good idea for this drop. I think he's going to feed right into GuMiho.
Yeah, I think he's actually going to hit the Viking, unfortunately. And then there's already Marines and Hellions in that main base.
Yeah.
But if he could unload everything, he's pretty good.
Nicely done there.
All right, so good turnaround. Good turnaround.
And he will be able to defend it with this Viking easily. Easy peasily.
Now Cloak almost done here for GuMiho. His Banshee is going to enter the main base of Polt in just a moment here.
All right, let's see if this Banshee does any damage. There doesn't seem to be any Marines here ready to defend.
Polt does have a Viking, so that's going to help him out a lot in defending against this.
All right, he cloaks. He's got to be ready, though. There will be a scan, and... No, he actually saved it there.
Saved that last second.
Is he just going to get over there?
Oh, wow. He made it out.
Whoa.
He's got to be careful. There's a turret being made. And he's going to lose this. All right. So, right now we actually have a ton of Hellions being made by GuMiho. He's got 3 factories going, just building a ton of them out. Getting
Did
his
he get Blue
Raven.
Flame?
Yes.
He did get Blue Flame. Okay.
So, he might get a little bit aggressive and just run up, kill off Marines, then run away from the tanks. Wouldn't be too surprised to see him just really try to reduce those numbers.
All right, he backs up a little bit, ready to Marines to a better angle. The Banshee stays alive. He has to get out of that scan range, and he does once again. Now looping around. I think he might even go for some SCVs back here.
Doing a good job with that Banshee. He does have Hellions incoming as well. Don't forget, if he can kill off Marines, the Banshees are going to be more powerful. GuMiho's doing a great job right now, man. A really great job.
Is.
He's actually making so many Hellions.
It's so cool because GuMiho just has his own way of doing this.
Yeah, he does. And it's like really solid. You look at it in a theoretical sense, and it's great. And in
What
fact,
do you think he's going to do with the Raven here?
the Raven is just there, I think, to build up energy because he knows Marauders will be in there.
So he wants to just point defense on that for
definitely, and he's definitely going to need it too because he's gone. Normally, you open up with mech with 2 Tech Lab factories and a Reactor factory.
Yeah.
This game he went 2 Reactor factories and a Tech Lab factory, so he's like really heavy on Hellions, which are bad against Marauders. So to get the really quick Raven to complement that, or to fill in the gaps of that, very smart move.
He needs to pull these Hellions back.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know what he's doing there. Now he's going to regroup with the rest of his Hellions. Now, interestingly enough, Polt actually goes back and gives up the middle. There's been a lot less fighting over the middle so far.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to be careful because he knows there's Blue Flame Hellions. If they get by one time,
everything dies.
Everything dies.
I mean, there's one time when you get when the Blue Flame Hellions just start to one-shot stuff.
Yeah.
And that's just a group this size.
Well, GuMiho with his third base up for so long, really mining as well, whereas Polt's not even mining yet, even though it's been up for a bit. He's already up to 5 facts, 3 with Tech Labs, 2 with Reactors. So his production's insane. Look at the supply difference, 30 supply difference. He has 15 more SCDs, doing a little bit of harassment here as we see. Everything is going really well for him.
When I see this game, I just feel like GuMiho is just so much better.
It feels like that, but
let's see if Polt can actually do this.
Polt has a lot of siege tanks, man, and that's so powerful against Blue Flame Hellions. But here we go, a lot of Hellions out. He's going to have to roast every Marine. He does pull back. Don't forget, he does have this Viking as well. That's very helpful as long as he can keep it alive. But he's gone.
message being transferred, and then it clicks in Polt's mind and says, oh, there's an expansion here. I better take this thing out. Now rushing forward. He's going to take these siege tanks, and Hellion's not so good against siege tanks.
Yeah, he's lost a gigantic amount of Hellions.
Oh my god, and the orbital could go down too.
Great positional play here by Polt, and in fact, look at that, keeping his Marauders at the front of the ramp to stop the Hellions from pushing up. This was a great attack by Polt, and in fact, it gave him a supply lead. After being down by 30, he's up by 20. That's how effective this was. GuMiho way too sloppy with these Hellions in these battles.
Yeah, you know, he just didn't have, he wasn't ready to defend, you know?
Just really well done by Polt.
Let's
That was exactly what he needed.
Yeah, it was really smart.
And
I love the tank positioning, then running up to the third base.
Exactly, yeah.
So nice.
It's so the Hellions just can't get up there. What do? Run into Marauders and Marines? You're going to be in tank range if you're actually battling them. So I really slowed him down, and I mean, Polt's really got himself into a nice position now, but GuMiho's not dead or anything. You know, he's only down by 10 supply. Not a big deal when you're going back against a Bioforce. But on Antigua Shipyard, a little bit more of a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, that high ground is really going to come into play because Polt now can fall back into a contain and take the fourth base.
Yeah. And it looks like now he is going to go back to the middle. He may attack again here.
Well,
You know,
Polt's
up to
aggressive.
him.
That's his style. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he does, but you know, theoretically, it might be a little bit better for him to set up a little bit more of a contain, even if it's an aggressive one. Not even necessarily on the high ground, just kind of close to his opponent.
Is he gonna do this big drop?
Oh, he might. GuMiho kind of ready for it.
Yeah, really ready for it actually.
Doesn't have turrets though, so this huge drop is coming up, and GuMiho's in a lot of trouble.
Polt spilling his units into the main, stimming the rainfall now, doing so much damage. And I don't know if these Hellions are going to be at a good angle.
No,
the buildings are actually getting in the way.
He can't actually bring those Hellions in there, man. He's losing so much right now. GuMiho in a lot of trouble. His supply still staying up really well, but he's lost a lot of depots. He's lost a lot of everything there. That was another very successful little prod.
And that's what's so good about Polt. He knows when to pull out.
Yeah.
He knows exactly the moment where it's like, okay.
No, Polt's playing.
That's good enough.
He's playing really well now. You know what? He's hitting his attacks. He's finding points of weakness, and he's exploiting them. But GuMiho's doing a good job as well because these are points of weakness in the way he's playing this, which is like a very Hellion-heavy type of mech. But he's keeping his supply up. He's keeping his third base going. He's still completely in it. This is actually a very even match right now.
Yeah, it really is. Well, as you can see, GuMiho's not dead, but you know, when you're meching, you really want to try to get maxed out as soon as possible. Any little interference when you're meching is so annoying. Because once you're maxed out, occasionally we see these 150 pushes, but when you're maxed out, that's when... Is that Thor stuck?
Yeah,
he's trapped. The Thor is in jail.
Do you know what?
What?
That Thor is so big, he thinks he's a building.
Oh my god. Well, he let him out now.
Well, when you love something tasteless, you have to set it free.
They had to push him out of the nest, you know?
All their barracks,
nice.
other factory.
Nice. Nice Hellion drop over here.
Yeah, well
beautiful.
Done. Really well done. In fact, you know, so far this game, Polt has killed off 30 SCVs. GuMiho's killed 17. Very close in the worker counts we just showed you right there. And, you know, now Polt is setting up that contain on the high ground. So he's actually got a really good contain going up. Only one side isn't completely contained.
This game's so funny because we're like totally like all over GuMiho.
Yeah.
And then until that attack happened, I'm like, whoa.
Well, that was a great attack.
He had the army there. He could have held it, but he wasn't in position.
Yeah.
Exactly. He didn't believe it was actually going to happen.
If his tanks were sieged in a slightly better spot, like maybe one on the high ground, two below the ramp, in a nice line, GuMiho would have held that and not taken any damage and been way ahead. But I mean, that's what Polt does. He finds weak spots because there's always going to be something that's a little bit weak, and Polt's going to go after it.
All right, scan goes down here, and Stim comes up.
Right now,
probably a good move. He didn't go there. Now watch this game, guys. This is going to be so hard for him to try to get the center. It's just so frustrating, especially with the sensor tower over there.
Oh god, yeah.
He can actually track the movement. It's so easy to stim and come in and surprise him.
Now, if you look on the mini-map, those tanks, that's what's in common of these two circles.
Oh, Is he going to come on that side? I'm a little bit surprised.
Looks like he was trying something like that, but Polt's positioning is really, really strong right now.
Yeah, it's really good.
Like Polt is moving all of his army down south now, realizing that GuMiho is running around him. Does he do base trade or does he go to defend?
All right, good siege up over here.
He's going to have to, but a nice stim in from behind. A lot of the Hellions out of position. Siegecheck's doing a good job here, but we don't have any point defense drone, and a nice flank by Polt.
Oh my God.
Crushing
That
GuMiho.
might have just cost GuMiho the game. That honestly...
Yeah, I would say it did cost him the game.
He's meching, he just lost, I think it was 16 tanks.
Yeah, you can see he's muttering to himself even.
Yeah.
Well, he's actually at 11 tanks against 11 tanks somehow. Right. So yeah, he lost a lot, but you know, from here, when you lose that many tanks against someone that basically just used some bio and barely lost anything, it's a pretty tall order to come back.
Yeah, no kidding.
Pretty difficult.
How are they doing on minerals at their bases, Ortosis?
Well, GuMiho actually still has surprisingly many minerals. Polt's a lot lower, but he does have his 4th base, so that's fine. GuMiho is making another Raven, so that's good. So he has 2 Ravens. He still has chances to push out, but the tank count of Polt is really, really strong, and he's going to switch into Sky Terran. He's getting his fusion core. He's getting 3 starports. You know, after killing off that many tanks, realizing that his opponent can't do anything on ground for a bit, it's the perfect choice to go into Sky Terran.
There's a chance that Polt is going to try to switch into full-on mech. We've seen players like Clyde do that before. But, you know, instead, this time he's going to go ahead and go for that Sky Terran, as he said as well. So Polt's making all the right
calls. Polt's playing a great game this time, man. Like,
I thought he was done for. Well, when I saw game 1, I was like, man, this is kind of depressing.
Yeah, but that's not who Polt is. You know, sometimes Polt's style just won't work, and someone will crush him. But definitely finding the right things to do this game. And you know, GuMiho this time just, I mean, he's maxing out again, and he's going to do a very strong push. In fact, even adding a lot of his own Vikings, which is like the one reason why I'm still... Oh, that's really bad. Having 4 mules on the same patch.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I mean, GuMiho's almost mined out. He might even want to bring SCVs to help him break through Polt here.
Well, let's see if GuMiho can do something. He is almost maxed out now. In fact, the supply is pretty even. What is the tank count here? Let's check this. Okay, so Polt has 13 tanks. GuMiho has 20.
He has 3 Ravens and 10 Vikings.
Yes.
There are 3 Thors out for Polt, which will help. But very important things to notice. And look at this. He's actually sniping tanks with these. Really well done. Completely worth that little group of Hellions, I'd say, to kill those 2 tanks. Now he has to move more tanks down, which weakens some of his other positions. GuMiho's continuing to try to push. Continuing. But, you know, the sensor tower is doing a good job because Polt is able to scan, even though he doesn't have air superiority. He's able to scan anything incoming as long as he kind of stares at that part of the minimap.
Yeah. Well, Thor now driving back those air forces. I mean, Polt is just not going to budge, guys.
He's not.
It's smart of him, too. GuMiho's going to try to sneak out this way.
It's pretty hard to sneak with this sensor tower, like,
exactly.
Looks like he's going to try to take another base. That's actually a really good choice. Polt is not really heavily on that side of the map. He has to be careful because as Marines and Marauders come over, he might be able to break through that with like medevac drops, basically.
Yeah, he doesn't really have any anti-air here.
Yeah, his Vikings are in another location. There's only 2 Vikings there, and you can fly through 2 Vikings. 2 Vikings are not 2 turrets.
No, indeed.
They're in fact 2 Vikings.
So as you can see, the siege line here has been pushed out now. GuMiho did get the 4th base up. That is what he wanted to do.
That's the most important thing, really. Yeah. That's by getting that up, the game continues. GuMiho has much more of a chance right now than he did before. He's actually secured it. He's got so many tanks that he actually still has a chance here. But here's this medevac drop we were talking about before, and this is going to be so deadly. He's got to target on the attack units. He's got to target them, and in fact, yeah, there you go. He's targeting down the units that are actually attacking him, and that's going to minimize damage. He did a good job there.
It's so funny because you look at like how little Polt lost there, and then you know how much damage was actually taken. It's like not cost efficient, and then you combine that with the fact that GuMiho's down on expansions. I mean, this is bad for him. This is such a hard position to play from.
All right, well, got to watch out for that Thor. That Thor is +2 attack. Oh, that's a really good point defense drone right now. Just kind of slowing him down from killing off these Vikings and whatnot. A lot of Ravens out. And GuMiho doing a strong push right now.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, the fact that GuMiho made these Vikings and Ravens with his army means that the Sky Terran for Polt isn't really working. And now I would say GuMiho is getting an edge.
If GuMiho wins this, it's going to be insane.
He is really good, man. Really strong. God, players are getting so good at this game.
I know, man. I can't believe this. I mean, when we saw Polt get the center after he made the third of GuMiho's lift, I was like, well, let's be realistic here. You're in a lot of trouble, but
yeah, no, he was, but here we are now. He's done a great job pushing. In fact, look at that. Very nice harassment, but the Marine Marauder group coming up will eliminate it. Thing is, now that those units are out of position, I think GuMiho's going to make a move, Tasteless.
Think so?
Maybe. He's moving around with his unit, but actually has nothing there to buffer. I would not attack up that hill with those. Those +2 sea chinks on the high ground would just decimate him.
Ooh, taking a lot of hits there.
God, yeah, this is really sloppy. He needed a lot more buffering there. He had the minerals for it too. Very sloppy move.
Okay, he did tear up that little contain though.
Yeah, he's breaking through the
move
sides.
freely from there. But it looks like Polt is going to try to come in here and flex his muscle.
Oh, this is a very important moment. Does Polt actually have enough Sky Terran here? The Sea Chinks are going to be taken out in a matter of seconds. Nice point defense drones going out. Some from GuMiho as well. He's got to move those siege tanks. This is very scary for GuMiho. Polt making 5 Vikings at a time right now. And oh god, he's going to kill so many siege tanks with these PCs.
He's trying to get over here. That's also closed up. I don't think there are many more options here for GuMiho. It's cool that he got that 4th base, but unless there's something we're not seeing here.
No. I mean, he got himself in a pretty good spot, man, but it looks like Polt's Sky Terran army is going to be enough here.
Yeah.
And in fact, GuMiho not even micro and GG.
Those battle cruisers just tanking so much damage to those Vikings.
Yeah, they really were. And you know what? He waited for his Ravens to get enough energy to have those important point defense drones. A lot of GuMiho's point defense drones got used up.
Yeah.
Because, Viking count's important, but so is that point defense drone count. If you can cast 4 or 5 point defense drones, then suddenly your Viking count, even if it's smaller, is going to get through a little bit quicker and start doing the actual damage. But that was a great game, man. That was very back and forth. GuMiho brought it back to a point where he got into a good spot, but Polt did it just right.
Yeah, it was some very nice play by Polt. Polt was pretty disciplined. I'm amazed though GuMiho actually managed to almost get out a few times.
Yeah, it was just I'm completely happy with that game, to be perfectly frank. That was just solid, stellar play from both sides.
Now GuMiho, he picked the map Cloud Kingdom. This is his map. I wonder what he's going to do. I wonder how he's going to play it.
I tell you what, I think he's going to go with mech here. Wouldn't be surprised if he opens up with a lot of Hellions either, to be honest. There's multiple ways up that ramp. You can go in through the third. You can go in through the side of the third. You can go up through the main part into the natural where the rocks are. That's going to give him some map control early on. Antigua, I feel like, is not quite as good a map for the style he just used as this one might be. So, we'll see.
Looks like the players want to get this game going, and so we will.
GuMiho against Polt. One of these guys will face DRG.
This has been my favorite GSL to date. The games are just so good.
Oh, it's already just killing.
It's already. Normally I would never say that in a round of 32.
I know, right?
Already the best GSL to date. All right, guys, let's do this. Terran versus Terran. Polt versus GuMiho. Who's going to go on to face DRG?